In our first segment of the day, we have Fox News reporter Jackie Heinrich questioning John Kirby on these new parameters that they want to implement when shooting objects out of the sky, and basically asking him, hey, if something's benign or not a threat, or maybe civilian aircraft that's unidentified, should they be worried about a missile taking them out? And then she questions him on the raid that killed an ISIS leader. As always, support the show by hitting that like and subscribe button, leaving us a short, sweet comment down below. Your help support would be greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Thanks, great. So, John, I take that to mean you guys don't have any plans to reimburse the bottle cap balloon brigade?
I don't know of any plans to reimburse. We honestly don't know what this is.
More generally speaking, what can you tell Americans about what they should expect in the future, understanding that these new parameters are going to be classified? If they see something in the air, should there be any concern that a missile is going to follow it?
Again, we're not going to rule anything out, in or out, in terms of how we're going to treat with additional potential unidentified aircraft. I thought the president did a terrific job yesterday of putting this into some context and making it clear to the American people that their safety will always come first, that these are likely, we're going to find out that they were likely of a benign purpose and not a threat at all. So
you got to love that, you guys. And actually, a reporter before Jackie Heinrich got to ask her question was something very similar in terms of these objects and why they were shot down. What were they? And he was saying the intelligence community thinks that it was benign and not a threat. And that kind of gives credence to what the fighter pilots were saying in the F-15s when they were observing these objects, basically saying, hey, these look like balloons. And then reports came out that a lot of people think it was a $12 party balloon from somebody's birthday. And I know it sounded like a joke when I was talking about it last week, but it really wasn't. He literally probably shot a party balloon out of the sky. The first missile we missed, there's $500,000 out the window. And then we blew it up with the second one. So there's another $500,000 out the window. $1 million on a freaking $12 party balloon probably. And I think that's why they're waiting so long to come out with information here, because it's so embarrassing what took place. Also, you had evidence come out that we literally watched the Chinese spy balloon leave mainland China, fly all the way across the United States, gathering all the intelligence it needs, and then we blow it out of the sky. Compared to 3 objects that barely enter our airspace, we know nothing about, of which you just heard him say that we really don't know what these are, and we just blow them out of the sky. And now they're implementing these parameters, but then in the weeks that were before here, when all this was taking place, Joe Biden and I did everything right. There's nothing to worry about here. He did a good job in blowing these things out. They were a threat to the American people. Now we're finding out they weren't a threat, but yet they were a threat to airspace and all these other things. So it's so asinine and it's crazy. Welcome to the Biden administration.
There shouldn't be any overarching concern by the American people that the skies are somehow full of attack balloons or that they're at greater risk. If anything, you look back at how we dealt with this, again with information that we had that wasn't complete, but yet legitimate concerns about a threat, and dealing with that threat safely and efficiently. Nobody hurt as these balloons were taken down. And I think that should give the American people a measure of comfort and confidence. But the president wants to
make... Hey, you should all feel safe and confident knowing that we're shooting just party balloons out of the sky, you guys, and missing them, by the way. I mean, can you get any more ridiculous? I'm not bashing our military, but for good God, folks, it looks terrible, the fact that we can't hit a stationary balloon out of the sky with a missile. Can you imagine a moving object from a foreign adversary like Russia or China? And some might say, well, it's easier to hit those. Whatever, they might be bigger objects. But we don't have really much coming from this Biden administration in terms of what it was. But if you notice, he said there, balloons out of the sky. He didn't mention craft. He didn't mention drones or anything like that. So I really do think all of them were literally probably just balloons. And there was a report from some sort of community saying that they lost one of their balloons on the same day and around the same time that one of these were shot out of the sky. From I think it was a research group or something like that. So just lovely, not a threat, benign. We just wasted $1 million plus on this whole thing, which another reporter, and we'll get to after this segment with Jackie Heinrich, questioning him on that, as well as Joe Biden's handling of the whole thing. He does an awesome job. Let's go ahead and roll it.
Make sure that as we go forward, we do so smartly and we do so effectively. And that's why he wants a set of new rules determined so that we can now deal with these in a perhaps a different way, go in the future.
While we have you here,
can we just reverse that just a little bit here? So if he's saying that moving forward, we want to do things smartly, does that imply that what you did before was dumb? And that's why you need to institute these new parameters, because you have an idiot running as commander in chief these operations. And thinking that it's, some sort of threat or foreign adversary doing some sort of thing, but you're going to blow it out of the sky with millions of dollars and then find out later it's a party balloon. So you need to institute new parameters and make sure that something like that doesn't happen again. Is that what we're saying here, John Kirby? But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments or the live chat. Here's the question on the raid of the ISIS leader.
What can you tell us about this ISIS raid in Syria?
Yeah, so I think you saw Central Command put a statement out that last night U.S. military and SDF partnered forces conducted a helicopter raid against an ISIS senior leader, a man named Hamza al-Hamzi. And he was overseeing the group's deadly terrorist network in eastern Syria before he was killed in the raid. As the Pentagon has reported, an explosion during the raid also resulted in 4 U.S. troops and 1 other working dogs suffering some injuries. The troops and the working dog are in stable conditions, are being treated at a U.S. military facility, medical facility in Iraq, and I think the Pentagon will have more information on that.
Okay.
And you know what? Good on the Biden administration. Good on the Biden administration for taking out a leader. We got to be at least linear in the things that they do good versus the things they do bad. Most of the things that the Biden administration does is bad, and it's asinine, and it's ass backwards, and it doesn't make sense. But this is a good thing. We got to credit where credit is due, folks. We do the same thing with John Kirby here and Jackie Heinrich and Peter Ducey and Philip Wegman and Karine Jean-Pierre, everybody. We got to give credit where credit is due. And the Biden administration did a good one here. Again, like I said, most of the stuff is just asinine. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.